Hey everyone, it's Jackie, and this is going to be our April bullet journal setup. So, in this month, I am going to do a lily theme, and this is actually the first time I'm drawing a lily, and I've been practicing lately now, but um, it's not too bad for the first time I'm drawing a lily. I am not an artist, and I'm hopefully trying to get better at that. So I looked up online. I just Googled how to draw a lily, and this tutorial popped up. And then I kind of just followed it, and I obviously traced it in pencil first because I'm not that good at drawing, whereas I could just think about how I want it to look and make it look good. I added this closed lily right next to it as well, and I go for the colors of yellow and yellow and green. And I center green around the center of the flower, and then yellow kind of just on the exterior, and then around the green as well. And I'm kind of adding these like scratch marks or whatever just to give the plant more depth to make it seem just a little bit better. I realized later after I was finished with drawing this page that I turned some of the petals the wrong way, like the way it's folded. It's supposed to be folded down, and I folded it up. But whatever. It still looks good. I like it. And my April in the middle is where I wrote it. It's not that great, but it works. Um, just me doing it here right now, and it works for the first time I did that. And I used a calligraphy pen for this because I'm not too great with brush lettering. I'm practicing it, but that's a work in progress. I'm getting a lot better, which is great. And then I put a flower at the top here, kind of um, facing downwards, and then the stem going into the side of the page. And I obviously drew this one out as well before I did it. And I the leaves, I'm not a fan of the leaves. I could have done those better, but whatever, hindsight 2020. Um and I'll continue this lily theme throughout the entire month. And just I'm using the Crayola markers to put the yellow and green highlights on there. I didn't want to use my Tombow pens just yet because I don't want to use those until I'm I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with what I'm currently doing. So these Crayola markers are super cheap. I think I got a pack of a pack of 100 for maybe like $13. Not terribly bad. It's super cheap, so I can afford to screw those up. So this next page that I'm working on is my month overview. I separated the month by business and personal. And then on the other side, I just did the month at a glance. And I did the numbers in a straight line so that I can write on either side of the numbers of the month, the 30 days of the month. And I used this Sakura pen just to write just capital letters, really, is all I did. And I'm writing the box here. I think I write, yeah, on the side is when I write the events, the task, and my goals for this month. And then I just, it's kind of similar to what I did with what one did my other goals, my yearly goals. It's similar to what I did with my yearly goals, except I did it to the side instead of to the top. And if you haven't seen my previous video, definitely go check it out. I'll link it in the description below, as well as I'll make a little annotation at the top so that you can see the setup of the beginning of my bullet journal. This is another lily I used. It's a different kind of lily, not the open petal lily. It's more like the reed looking one. And then I used squiggly marks, and I put a closed lily on the other side, right next to the sneak peek. And then I drew some, um, what are they? Just leaves. The leaves on these squiggly marks, the border. Jeez. And this is the you know, green and yellow theme that I'm still gonna do. And then I'll stick a bunch of petals, like falling petals, to go down the side of it. Um, I wanted to, I still wanted to do this in such a way that I didn't spend a terrible amount of time on designing the pages because, as I said, my main goal is going to be to learn how to use this bullet journal. But I can't I want to make it pretty, so I didn't do too much other than I drew a couple of lilies, and I think I draw maybe two or three more, and or large ones anyways. I think like two large ones, and then I draw a bunch of little small ones along here. This is my moods. These are kind of like either like falling petals or something. I don't know. End up looking deformed, so I put up little drop shadow on them to make myself feel better that I did a better job at it. It's kind of just the point is to track my moods and do the colors. So I used yellow as a really good mood, and then varying shades of green to be my off moods. And then I numbered them all with the 30 days. And then I just put a smiley face, a squiggly face for meh, or a flat face for meh, a squiggly face like I'm not feeling so good, and a dark green for, and a frowny face for my terrible day. um, this next side is actually going to be my habit tracker. I have 8 habits that I want to track. Yeah, 8 habits. Wow, I had to think about that. 8 habits that I wanted to track, and I just divided this page into 8 boxes, and my habits kind of looks. I use this as a calligraphy. Wow, calligraphy pen. I use this calligraphy pen to write habits, and then I do the same kind of border to match the rest of this month that I've been doing, and then more leaves, and then I'll do them yellow and green as well. And I was going to copy that when the writing the uh the headers between the lines, but then I decided not to do it. So I just wrote it above it instead of in it, if you know what I mean. And I want to check, these 8 goals are the things I want. And I started numbering the inside of these boxes, and it just got weird. It got really weird because I completely didn't even like first one, I didn't do enough spaces. This one I didn't. They're all different, which is pretty nuts. I don't even know how I managed it, but I was kind of at that point where I was like, okay, so I've already messed this up. Let me just go ahead and throw the numbers in here so that I can track it and not worry about having to fix this mistake. So as long as I could get all the days to fit, I was pretty happy. So I just wrote them all out on here. And so all my reading ones, the water that I drink, cleaning the house, exercising, um, drawing, what else? Cooking, things like that. I mean, that I wanted to track, which is really interesting. And then I decided to actually draw 2 lilies behind, kind of like behind the habits tracker, which is really cool. They kind of like stretch out around it or underneath it really. And I draw it with a pencil, obviously, because I'm not good. But it gets better. That as I draw them, they get better. I get a little bit more confident in what I'm doing, and I don't have to look at a um a guide anymore. I just kind of think about how I want it to look, and then I just drew it in there. I know it's kind of hard to see without me coloring this in black, but now you can see that. And then I'll add the same kind of scratch marks on there to make it seem like um texture. And then they're obviously going to be the same theme color of green and yellow. And so I put one between the first bit of the habits, and then I add another flower a little bit lower. And then I don't know if I add petals to this side, like falling petals. I don't think so. I think the two flowers, I think I was content with the two flowers. And this time, and I obviously had the petals kind of folded over, and just stretching them out in black, or yeah, just tracing them back out in black. And I forgot the stem for a second, which is really kind of hard to see. Um, and then I did two of the closed petal ones. That's the one I did extra. I did two of these closed petals, and then these two I actually freehanded them, which is pretty good. I mean, they're pretty easy. I just did a little squiggle top and the stems. So those I can freehand. The actual flower itself, like the big flowers, no way, not freehanding those yet. So I just color those in, and I color the base of the small ones green and then the top yellow. And I think that is, I forgot the stems on that. So yeah, that is, I do add the falling petals on this page. Awesome. So yeah, we have falling petals, and then I'll obviously do the same colors on them. And then after that, I haven't added the drop shadows to the moods yet because it was kind of an afterthought. I kept like going back to it and looking at it, and I'm like, no, I don't. I don't like it. So I'll definitely add those later. And this is my brain dump page. This one, I draw a gigantic lily on this side, which pretty much takes up a fourth of the page for the brain side. And I do it in pencil. And so I'm just kind of thinking about how I want these petals to fall, which is obviously gravity is going to pull them down because the petals are so long. And I started drawing, and they kept on getting like larger and larger. And I was like, okay, I need to remove that and make it small. Because I think at one point it was taking up half the page. So yeah, I just trace this out with this pencil, and then I go for my pen, and I'm obviously using the Sakura pen. I think the size, it's the 01, so it's the 0.25 pen, the one that I'm using. And it's because it does a really thin line, and so I can just outline in my pencil and do the base of the stem and a couple of these leaves, a little, I don't know what they're called, the interior stem pieces. Interior stem pieces. And then again, I add that same texture to these flowers. And then I'll color them with the green. I accidentally picked up the wrong color green when I did this. A dark one, but that's okay. I used the light yellow, same yellow that I used all throughout the rest of this video, and just shove that to the top and accented it. It really gives this, it makes it seem more alive and not just a flat drawing, which I really like. And I pick up the right green, and then I color the leaves that green. on this brain dump, on the dump side of this, I will draw a small closed lily on this one, and I just sketch it in. It doesn't look as good as my first one. It's because there's a part of the stem that I completely forgot to draw, and so that's why it looks a little bit weird. Um, but I colored it anyways, and it doesn't look too bad. And then I'll just do a little closed stem at the top, or and it's this I freehanded because I was like, okay, I think I got this one. And I just did it really quick because I didn't want to spend too much time doing it. And then I wrote brain dump with this calligraphy pen again. And that's pretty much it. Just something really simple. And finally, we're on to the first week of April. And this I just kept extremely minimal. I found a picture online. I don't know where I saw it from, but I wanted to see, how it looked. Just very minimal. And I write out 4 days on each page and then notes, 3 on the last and then a note side. And then I will just write in the day. A little bit later, well, it's not in this video because I think it was like the next day or something like that. I thought I needed to put a calendar in here, so there's a calendar at the top of, or either top or the bottom. It might be the bottom on the left side. I do have a picture of it on my Instagram, so I'll definitely link my Instagram below so you can go and check it out. And with everything, that even though you're doing your bullet journal, you can change whatever you want. You can do it and then you can come back and add a couple of things. There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. I did want to add a couple of these lilies at the top, these closed lilies at the top, and I'll color them in and then do a little line connecting each one of those. And then I'll color the petals as well. So yeah, just that green and yellow, and then we'll just finish that up, and then we're gonna jump into just a real quick flip through of my April journal. So please let me know what you think in the comments below, and definitely like and subscribe if you enjoy what you watched here. And as always, thanks for watching.